If this doesn't motivate you, nothing will. You have been through things people wouldn't believe if you told them. You've cried silent tears in the dark. You've smiled when your heart was breaking. You've kept walking when the weight on your shoulders felt unbearable. And yet, you're still here. That's not just survival, that's strength. Now, I want you to pause and feel that. You didn't come this far to stop. You didn't overcome what tried to break you just to settle. You are here reading this, listening to this, because something deep inside you still believes there's more. And you're right, there is. But listen to me, no one is coming to save you. Not the perfect moment, not the perfect job, not the perfect partner. You are the hero. You always have been. The truth is, every excuse you've made, every delay, every doubt, it's not because you're weak, because you forgot who you are. You are powerful, you are necessary, you are one decision away from a completely different life. So let me ask you, what would happen if you stopped shrinking yourself to fit in? What if you stopped waiting for permission and gave yourself the freedom to show up fully, unapologetically as the person you were born to be? There is something only you can bring to this world. Your voice, your vision, your story, your truth. And somebody somewhere is waiting for exactly what you carry. So no, this isn't just another feel-good speech. This is a call to action. Stop scrolling. Start showing up. Start wishing. Start building. Start moving. Because your future's not written in the stars. It's written in your choices, in your courage, in your consistency. And if that doesn't motivate you, nothing will. You've been through more than people know, more than you let on, and probably more than you even give yourself credit for. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that it wasn't a big deal. The way you carried on after being hurt. The way you kept showing up when everything inside you wanted to quit. But let me tell you something. That was a big deal. That is strength, real strength. Not the kind that comes from lifting weights or shouting the loudest. I'm talking about quiet strength. The kind that endures. The kind that holds you together when everything else is falling apart. You've cried, maybe in silence. You've struggled, maybe alone, and still you kept going. That matters. That's powerful. That's something to honor. Sometimes we look at other people and think they're so strong. They've got it all together, but you don't know the weight they carry. And they don't know yours. So stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Start recognizing what it's taken for you to get here. Every step you've taken, every time you picked yourself up off the floor, it all matters. There have been moments you didn't think you'd make it, be honest. Maybe you thought it was over. Maybe it felt like there was no way forward. Maybe life knocked the wind out of you so hard you forgot how to breathe. But somehow you did. You figured it out. You held on. You survived. And that survival, that was not weakness. That was your strength showing up for you when you needed it most. And yet you rarely stop to reflect on it. You rarely stop to say, I made it through that. But you should. Because remembering what you've survived reminds you of what you're capable of. You didn't just get lucky. You didn't just stumble forward. You made choices. You made sacrifices. You made progress, even when it felt like you were walking through mud. Too often, we downplay our resilience. We're so focused on where we want to be that we forget to acknowledge how far we've come. But the version of you 5 years ago would be amazed by the you standing here today. Even if you feel like you're not where you should be, even if it's not perfect, you've grown. You've matured. You've endured. That is no small thing. You see, strength isn't just about being unshakable. It's about rising again after being shaken. It's about choosing hope when fear is easier, choosing love when pain tempts you to shut down, choosing faith when the path ahead isn't clear. Strength is in the daily decision to keep believing in a better tomorrow, even when today is heavy. You don't need to shout to prove your strength. You don't need to perform. Your survival is your testimony. Your story is your proof. And no one can take that from you. People might try to define you by your struggles, but they'll miss the miracle if they overlook your strength. Think back to your hardest moments, the days that broke your heart. Now, ask yourself, who got you through that? Who kept you standing? It was you. It was your strength. It was your inner fire. It might have flickered, but it never went out. You owe it to yourself to remember that fire. Because the next time life tests you, and it will, you need to remember you faced darkness before and you found your light. You felt lost before and still found your way. You've bent under pressure, but you didn't break. And every time you thought you couldn't go any further, you did. So the next time you doubt yourself, remind yourself, you're still here. You didn't survive all that to be average. You didn't come through the fire to shrink yourself now. You've already proven your strength. Now it's time to stop surviving and start thriving. Because when you truly understand what you've overcome, you stop asking, can I do this? And start saying, I've done this before, and I can do it again. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are human, and you are powerful. Let that truth sink in. Let's be real for a moment. There's this quiet myth we carry, maybe not consciously, but deep down, that someone or something is going to come along and change everything for us. A moment, a person, a breakthrough, that magical opportunity where everything finally lines up, where all the confusion disappears and you finally become the person you're supposed to be. But here's the truth, and it's not always easy to hear. No one is coming to save you. Not because people don't love you, not because you aren't worthy of support, but because the person you've been waiting for is already here. It's you. You are the one. You are the answer. You are the rescue. The sooner you accept that, the sooner everything changes. Because once you stop waiting for life to shift and start realizing you have the power to shift it, that's when your story starts to evolve. Not when you meet the right partner, not when someone finally gives you permission, not when circumstances are perfect, but when you decide, I'm done waiting. I'm ready to become everything I was meant to be. Look at your life. Really look. Every single turning point you've had came because you made a decision. You chose to leave or to stay, to speak up or to hold your ground, to try one more time, even when you were tired. That wasn't chance. That wasn't fate stepping in. That was you stepping up. And you need to give yourself credit for that. It's so easy to say, I'll be ready when things settle down, or I'll go after it when I have more support. But what if you stopped waiting? What if you acted as if you were already the version of you that you admire? What if you trusted that the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is action? Because let's be honest, life isn't going to slow down and hand you clarity. The world doesn't owe us perfect timing. but it does respond to people who take ownership of their lives. And when you start showing up for yourself, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard, when it's uncertain, when no one's clapping, that's when the momentum builds. You become unstoppable the moment you stop outsourcing your power. Think about all the times you've handed your worth to someone else's opinion, all the times you waited for someone to validate your dreams or prove you were good enough. You don't need their permission. You never did. Your value was never up for a vote. You are not here to live according to someone else's version of enough. You get to define that for yourself. It's not about having all the answers. It's not about being fearless. It's about having the courage to begin, even if your voice shakes, even if you're not sure how it ends, because heroes don't wait for the perfect conditions. They rise in the middle of the storm. You are that hero, even if you don't feel like it yet. Start acting like the main character in your life, not the background role, not the supporting cast, the lead, the one who chooses how this story unfolds from here. And that doesn't mean it'll be easy. It means it'll be yours. Fully, completely, unapologetically yours. There will be setbacks, there will be detours. But when you're the one driving, you don't give up just because the road gets rough. You adjust. You grow. You move. So today, not tomorrow, not someday, today is the day you stop waiting. Waiting for the right mood, waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to believe in you, believe in yourself right now. Because you're not fragile, you're not helpless, you're not stuck. You are capable of far more than you've allowed yourself to become. You have the wisdom, the grit, the heart. Everything you need is already within you. You just have to be brave enough to access it. You don't need a sign. You don't need a miracle. You need a decision to take one small step, to choose yourself, to stop shrinking, to stop hesitating, to take responsibility, not with shame, but with power, with ownership, with the realization that this life is yours to shape. You have one life, one shot. No do-overs, no waiting room, and you are not meant to spend it watching others live while you sit on the sidelines hoping something will shift. You are the shift. You are the one who decides what happens next. And if you can let that truth settle in your bones, if you can carry it with you, there will be no limit to what you can become. You may not see it yet, but what you carry inside you is rare. It's one of a kind. And whether you've been told that 1,000 times or never once, you need to hear it now. There is no one like you. Not now, not ever. Your voice, your story, your perspective, it cannot be replicated. No one else has lived your life. No one has your exact mix of experiences, heartbreaks, passions, insights, and dreams. That combination is your magic. That's your fingerprint on the world. And yet for so long, you've probably been taught to tone it down, to be more this, less that, to edit yourself until you fit into a version of success, beauty, or intelligence that someone else defined. You were taught to shrink so you wouldn't make others uncomfortable. You were told to quiet your fire so you wouldn't come off as too much. But here's the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were made to stand out. You're not here to be a copy of someone else's greatness. You're here to be the original version of your own. That's what people are hungry for. Not more perfection, not more filters, not more of the same, but real. People are desperate for authenticity, for honesty, for someone to stand up and say, this is who I am. Flaws, fire, and all. And when you have the courage to be that person, you give others permission to do the same. You don't have to have 1 million followers or a polished resume to make a difference. You just have to show up as you are right now, because there is someone out there who needs exactly what you bring: your presence, your energy, your truth, your compassion, your weirdness, your wisdom, your humor, your story. You may not know their name, you may never meet them, but you can shift someone's world just by being fully yourself. And the saddest thing you could ever do is hide all of that because you were afraid of not being liked. Yes, some people won't understand you, some won't get it. That's okay, they're not meant to. Your job isn't to be understood by everyone. Your job is to be true to yourself, and in doing so, attract the people who were always meant to find you. Because when you water yourself down, you don't just rob the world, you rob yourself. You rob yourself of the freedom to live fully. You rob yourself of the connections, the joy, the impact that only come when you show up as your whole self. And I get it, it's scary. It's easier to wear a mask. It's safer to fit the mold. But safe won't change lives. Safe won't fulfill your soul. Safe will keep you small when you were born to be expansive. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need to be polished to be worthy. You don't need to be famous to be impactful. You just need to be real. You know those things about you that make you different? The parts you used to hide, the quirks you thought were flaws? Those might be your greatest gift. The exact thing you've been trying to cover up could be the key to unlocking someone else's breakthrough. When you speak your truth, someone hears their own voice for the first time. When you share your story, someone finds their healing in it. When you step into your calling, someone finds the courage to chase theirs. That's the ripple effect of being yourself. You want to motivate the world? Don't just post a quote. Live a light that reflects your truth. You want to be a light? Then stop dimming yours. Turn it up. Let people see what raw, imperfect, beautiful authenticity looks like. Because that is what changes people. That is what wakes people up. Not perfection, not pretending, but realness. You were born with something that no one else can offer. And if you don't give it to the world, it will never exist. Let that sink in. You don't need to become more. You need to remember who you already are. You need to reclaim the parts of yourself that you were told to quiet. You need to recognize that you are already whole, already enough, already powerful. You don't need fixing. You need permission from yourself to shine. So stop asking, who am I to do this? And start saying, who am I not to? Because someone somewhere is waiting for exactly what only you can give. And if you hide now, they may never find it. You are the message. You are the example. You are the one. Let the world feel you absolutely.